Yes, this paper is about not attacking an attack, but something similar, evaluating an attack. It's the LiRA membership inference attack, which is the state of the art. In this session, if you are here, you probably know that membership inference attacks are important because they are a way to measure privacy in machine learning, privacy of training data, also the efficiency, effectiveness of unlearning algorithms and other things. So it is an important problem to know whether such attacks are effective or not. We focus here on LiRA, which is a state-of-the-art membership inference attack. And when LiRA uses enough shadow models, it performs better than newer attacks even. And it has become a privacy benchmark and even sometimes a ground truth for validating cheaper attacks. Then it turns out that LiRA weakens there are normally 4 optimistic assumptions that overestimate LiRA effectiveness. One is loss-wise overfitting. A lot of the models that are attacked in the literature using LiRA, they are overfitted. That's the thing. Also, in the attacks, one uses target-based thresholds, which are normally not available to attackers in real conditions. There is also an assumption that there is a balanced membership prior, that members are roughly 50% of the training data, of the test data, and there is also an issue with reproducibility. The detected memberships are not very stable. And then this is what we did. We tried to do a realistic evaluation. We used anti-overfitting plus transfer learning to mitigate the effectiveness of MIAs. We use only shadow-only threshold calibrations, which are those available to attackers. Also, we reported the positive, the accuracy of positives on the skewed priors, so less than 10%. And we also looked at reproducibility across many runs. And so we considered an attacker that is strong but constrained. The attacker can use, let's say, up to 256 shadow models. The attacker cannot calibrate on thresholds and targets data. And the defender is a pragmatic practitioner that can use, as I said, anti-overfitting and other techniques to thwart membership inference. So we found that when using anti-overfitting and transfer learning, the membership signal really collapses. It's hard to distinguish. We also saw that there is an impact of anti-overfitting and transfer learning on LiRA effectiveness and utility of the data as well. Here you see in the second column that when we use anti-overfitting, the true positive rate decreases 16 times with respect to the baseline for Cypher 10. For other data sets, the decrease is not as much as that, but it is 13 times for Cypher 100, and even 24 times for this purchase 100 data set. So anti-overfitting is really effective at mitigating LiRA's effectiveness, if I may say so. It turns out also that the thresholds, membership thresholds found by LiRA they are unstable when we take extremely low false positive rates, which is what we should do, in fact. You have on the left-hand side here the interquartile range for thresholds when we use a single run. That in this case, the sample is the 256 shadow models. If we increase and take the number of runs and we take 12 independent runs, we also have that there is a large spread when the false positive rate is very small. So we have on the left the 10 to the minus 5 false positive rate. If we increase the false positive rate that we tolerate, then of course the spread decreases. So then another takeaway is that when we take realistic calibration using target calibrated thresholds and we take skewed priors, the inference, the membership inferences tend to be uncertain. So this is what happens. You can see here 3 different membership priors. So on the left-hand side, the lowest prior, and you see that that the effectiveness of LiRA on CIFAR goes down from 94% for the baseline to 49% when using AOF and transfer learning. So for the data sets, there is also a marked decrease. Also here, I show some graphs about reproducibility. What's the stability of membership findings across independent runs? And the takeaway here is that even if you take several runs with exactly the same settings, the Jacquard metric, the intersection metric, and the coverage metric for the membership sets detected goes down as the number of runs increases. So there's the vulnerable set is therefore highly sensitive to training stochasticity and model configuration. Even the top-ranked vulnerable samples that are identified change across runs. So takeaway here is that even among the top-ranked detections with false positive 0, the selected samples change substantially across independent runs and training variations. LiRA is therefore more reliable for ranking who is more likely to be a member, what is more likely to be, than to make binary decisions whether this item is a member or not. Okay, so that's what we detected here. For ranking, things work better than for binary decisions. We also found that the loss ratio is a strong proxy for the risk of MIA being finding a true membership. So that is another takeaway. And there is an optimistic paradox here, I would say, that the models that are most vulnerable to membership inference by LiRA turn out to be those that are the least suitable for deployment in privacy-critical settings, because they are more overfit, because they make wrong assumptions, etc. So if you do things properly and you deploy models that are properly trained, the effectiveness of membership inference attacks using LiRA will be lower than if you do things the wrong way. What should be done is to train target models with anti-overfitting or transfer learning. One should report the loss ratio, and then one should also evaluate with shadow-calibrated thresholds and skewed priors, and one should check reproducibility across run before trusting that the set is vulnerable. And the questions can be sent to us here, or right now ask it to me next to my poster down there. Thank you.